Welcome to the Fertility Mind podcast. I am your host, Jessica Friesen, a certified fertility mindset coach, a sound healer, and an international best-selling author. My mission for this podcast is to give you weekly episodes where you hear my own success with IVF and how mindset and manifestation changed it all for me. You will also hear from my guests who share their success stories in the fertility world. I want you to know that you are not alone. Even when things feel tough and when things feel like they aren't going your way, the tools and techniques you will get in this podcast, I know can change everything for you too. So thanks for being here with me today, and let's dive in. Hello and welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about conditional beliefs. This one has me, I feel on fire in such a good way talking about this. So I'll share this. When something goes on in my life, whether it's my life, my client's life, or friends, family, I get even more curious and I seek answers because I want to know how I can help better, show up better, teach better, and how I can grow and expand so I then in turn am better for myself, and I'm always growing and expanding. I love growing and expanding and changing my awareness. I don't believe in coincidences. So this past week, I started reading a new book with a brand new reading group called Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch. I've had this book in my house for over a year. I have not touched it. It was one of the book that was recommended for me to read. I thought, oh yeah, I'll get to it. But there's no coincidence that this weekend I got some news that shattered my heart a little bit, more than a little bit, but it left me asking for questions. It left me seeking more answers. And I knew that on Monday I was going to be reading this book, and my God, did I get answers. But here's the thing, guys. I've had this book in my energy, in my house, for over a year. I have not touched it. So I truly believe that when you get curious and you seek answers, you will find them. If you don't seek answers, you won't. And they can be literally right under your nose. And answers come from many different modalities. It could be a Reiki or a sound healing session. It could be an intuitive thought. It could be a community. It could be a mentor. It can be in books. It can be anywhere. I want you to get curious and I want you to start thinking about your conditional beliefs. I want you to start thinking, if I asked you a question, do you have everything in your life that you want? Very few of us would answer, yeah, I have everything. Most of us would say, well, I have this, I have that, and I'm very grateful for it, but I don't have this, I don't have that. I would love more money. I would love to travel more. I would love XYZ. I want you to start thinking about your conditional beliefs. I want to take you back to your childhood for a minute. We've all experienced conditional love, even though we talk about unconditional love. We have felt it through our parents. And I'm not saying anything bad about our parents. I truly hold the belief that my parents and other parents did the best that they could with the information and material and tools that they had around them and in their environment, and also based off of how they were brought up, how they were conditioned, and they experienced beliefs. Because depending on your upbringing, what you emit from the inside, that's the love that you've known. So do you want to experience a grander love, a bigger love, a different love? But what is your self-image holding that stops you from living your best life? What conditional beliefs are you holding? If I were to ask you about money, do you have your desired income? You would tell me your conditional beliefs. You would honestly answer that my wage or my job allows me to have this. So therefore, I can't do this without starting a side hustle or without winning the lottery or without doing this. It's a conditional belief. If you don't apply for the job that feels really called to you because you don't believe that you could do it, it's a conditional belief. You may be putting conditional love on your fertility journey. You may be putting conditions or conditional beliefs on every area of your life. And when I say on your fertility journey, I am saying this because you more likely or than not have said, when I get to hold my baby and I'm no longer on my fertility journey, then I can feel conditional or unconditional love. Then I can feel the utmost amount of gratitude. Then I can experience this because I'm no longer on that fertility journey. Then I can this, then I can that. Then I will have more time to do XYZ. I'm sharing these and I'm saying it with the utmost amount of love in my heart. Because in all honesty, guys, when I was in the thick of my fertility, I would say things like, when I finally get to get pregnant, then I can experience relief. Then I get to experience a different joy. I get to experience a different love. That means I don't have to be on this fertility journey anymore. That means I'm succeeding. That means this, that means that. Those are all conditional beliefs. It's a conditional belief that until you have that, right now you are just where you are. What if you can change your beliefs right now to believe something very different? What if you believed if money is something that holds you back from a masterclass, a course, a book, fertility treatments, buying your dream house, buying your car, you look in your bank account for that truth. You look in your bank account to say, oh, well, as of this moment, right now, in this time, I can't buy this. Or, you know what, maybe a commission or something is coming in. Maybe I can get it in a couple weeks, or maybe once I save a little bit, then I can get this. Those are all conditional beliefs. What if you changed your mind or changed your belief that energy was money, and that when you really become that vibrational match to something, it can show up in infinite ways? But if you don't believe that money's energy, or you don't believe that money can show up in different things, that can also in itself be a conditional belief. It's conditional to your environment. It's conditional to the things that you see. It's conditional to the things that you know. Things are conditional. Why can't they be unconditional? Why can't we feel unconditional love without having a baby in our hands? Why can't we feel unconditional joy and happiness without having a bank account that has millions or billions? Why does everything have to be conditional? This is why I want you to get curious. I want you to really understand. So, as I started reading Conversations with God, I applied what I thought I had as a belief system. I got even more curious and thought, am I holding conditional beliefs on things? I reevaluated a lot of things. And my mind was just literally like blown. And this is all part of growing and expanding and sharing. But I also understand that even when I think I don't have conditional beliefs, yes, I do. I just found things. I went back and I reevaluated my fertility journey. And I thought, where was I holding conditional beliefs that I thought that I wasn't? Where was I holding this? Where was I holding that? Where did my dominant thoughts always go? And yes, I can say this because I'm on the other side, but while you're going through this, whether it's fertility, money, love, any area of your life, in the book, they talk about how fear and love are the only two emotions. Neil Donald Walsh talks about love in a sense that, you know what, is when you're about to share your grandest, highest joy and tell someone that you love them, you instantly bring fear into that of, am I going to lose this love? What if this person doesn't tell me they love me back? What if I give myself so wholly to this person, but they don't give themselves so wholly back? You are instantly met with love and fear in every situation. Think about if you fell in love with this dream home, your bank account tells you one thing, and you tell yourself, but things can change. I really want this house. But then you're like, well, what if I can't make this payment? What if I lost my job? What if this? Think of all the fear that instantly steps in. Think about your fertility journey. What if I'm paying all this money to still be empty-handed, to come home with empty arms and a broken heart? Think about how we have love and then fear, and they are polar opposites. It's the greatest polarity. But you do one thing and instantly feel the other. I want you to start thinking about your conditional beliefs. Where are you holding conditional beliefs in every area of your life? And what if you flip them? What if all the things that you thought were right were wrong, or vice versa? What if all the things that you thought were wrong were actually right? What if where you always seek for answers is not within? Or you seek to other people that have experienced other things, or that are still on the same experience but have not made it to the other end? I want you to think about your conditional beliefs. I want you to think about how you show up in your life every single day. Are you living your best life? Is it conditional to your work environment? Maybe you love your job, but you don't love your coworkers, or you don't love certain situations, or you don't love that maybe there's a lot of politics that happen in your job or in your workplace. It's conditional. What if you wake up and your day is now conditional because you didn't have a great sleep? And you think, okay, I'm tired. It's fine. I'll get through the day. Maybe I'll have an extra cup of coffee. I'll have an energy drink. I'll have more water, whatever it is that gives you more energy. And it's conditional to you just getting through the day. And then when you get home, you can just relax and you can go to bed earlier. It's conditional. I want you to get curious. I really want you to get curious. I want you to think about where you're holding your conditional beliefs. And I want you to ask yourself, do you really harness or embody the belief that you can change your beliefs in an instant? In so many areas of my life, I think, yes, when I get curious, I receive answers. I truly believe that if this is going to be my new belief, I will embody it and I will apply it every day. I may not be 100% every day, but I know at least I applied it every single day. But there are some areas of my life that I know I hold conditional beliefs. And then I ask myself, why am I still holding on to these conditional beliefs? They're not serving me. But I wouldn't be me if I didn't share. I wouldn't be me if I wasn't maybe too blatantly open and honest. But the more I grow and the more I evolve, I want to take you along with me. And just reading this book has changed my whole perception on what I thought God was. It doesn't mean that I'm now this what it truly does mean is I'm curious and I'm seeking answers, and different things are resonating with me. It doesn't mean everything's going to resonate with me, and that's okay too. I have come to learn that when we hold judgment, again, judgment is a conditional belief. Who in society says that you have to be a certain size to be pretty, or to be thin, or to be overweight? Who determines that number? That's a conditional belief that we've now all accepted to be our norm. So when I start to read different things and I start to grow and I start to expand, I start to think, interesting. But I started thinking about the polarities. In order to experience love, you also have to experience not being loved, in order to experience this beautiful amount of joy, you also have to kind of experience things that are not joyous. You need to have the polarity. But more than anything, I want you to get curious. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but get curious about where you're holding conditional beliefs. If I have this, then I can have that. Well, if I would have had this, well, then my life would have been so much better. If I grew up in a different family, or if I grew up with more money, if I grew up with more this, then things would have been different. If I didn't have to deal with poverty, or I didn't have to deal with certain people in my life, or I didn't have to deal with this. If I didn't have to deal with this, then that. These are conditional beliefs. What if you can change this belief system right now and just ask yourself questions? What if I truly believe that money was going to show up and I can pay for this course, or I can pay for this and I can pay for that? Do you believe that? Or is it conditional to your income? Do you believe that everything is conditional? I truly believe that modalities and people and places and things will show up in my life when I need them, in my client's life, in my friend's life, in my family's life. I want you to think about the conditional beliefs that you hold. I want you to think about the conditional beliefs that apply to your life every day. And what if you change them one by one? Maybe even 2%. What if you changed your conditional beliefs to be something different than what it is now, so it's not conditional or less conditional? I want you to see how your life can start growing, evolving. I want you to get curious and ask yourself questions. Why don't I allow my mind to believe that I can choose my thoughts like I can choose my clothes? Why don't I allow myself to know that I don't have to feel this fear, that I choose to feel this fear? And please know, guys, when I say these things, it is a broad statement. I know that in certain situations, in certain places in your life, that fear can have a death grip. I know the ego. I know it can, try and keep you in that little box where you're safe. But that safety doesn't always make you feel good. It's comfortable. But even we get so comfortable being uncomfortable. It's easier to give up sometimes on things than it is to keep growing when there's so much unknown. And I want to teach you that even though the unknown is full of fear and it's scary, there's a lot of beautiful things on the other side. But I'm also saying these things because I want you to get curious. I want you to find answers for you. I want you to start searching within. I will share with you that when I was dealing with a lot of stuff in my inner world, my inner self, and I started getting curious and asking myself, okay, what I think I feel on the inside is not matching anything on the outside. I feel like I'm a good person. I feel like this, yet so much contrast was existing in my life. I got curious. I started asking myself, how am I really feeling today? Why am I hiding behind a smile? Why am I so afraid if someone sees me crumble? Why do I feel like I have to carry the world on my shoulders? I asked myself a lot of questions. Why do I feel like I can't openly talk about my fertility journey when I was first on it? And as soon as I thought, why? I'm an open book. I've always been an open book. I started sharing it with people. Now look at me. I'm a fertility mindset coach. Get curious and ask yourself questions. Ask yourself how you're really, really, really feeling on the inside. And don't feel like you have to rush this process. Taking time and getting to know your inner, most intimate thoughts, those duality feelings, those feelings of, I'm not worthy. Worthiness can be tied up in your finances. Worthiness can be tied up in your fertility. Worthiness can be tied up in your love. It can be tied up in every area of your life. So when you really become intimate with yourself, understanding your thoughts, understanding your patterns, and then seeing the conditional beliefs for what they are and saying, what if I could change that? What if I could show up differently for 5 hours, 10 hours, 24 hours, 72 hours, a week, a month, a year? Start showing up differently and seeing how much your world will change. Are you playing small in every area of your life? Are you playing big, but still hold a self-image that you don't believe that you could have certain things because of your upbringing, because of all of the things? Why can't we start to change our conditional beliefs right now? We can. We can. And I know some of you are cringing. And I know some of you are saying, it's easier for you because you've done it, or it's easier for you because XYZ. I've also played that role too. I have played victim for so long in my life. I wasn't aware that I was playing victim, but I would always say, well, if I didn't have this, then I could have that. If I wasn't a stay-at-home mom, I would have more time. And people look at stay-at-home moms and say, oh my God, you must have all the time in the world. Not always. That's not always the case. Or I would say, if I did this, then I did that. I want you to understand, I've been there where I've put conditions on things. I still have conditional beliefs, but every time I become aware of them, I work at changing them. And I'm getting you to get curious because you can start this too. It doesn't matter if you work 14, 18-hour days. It doesn't matter if you feel like you have no time. Start changing that conditional to belief. Like, I can find 5 minutes. I can find 10 minutes. I can find 30 minutes. If you resist this information and say, that I'm glad it worked for you, but it won't work for me, there's a conditional belief. Get curious. Ask yourself questions why this won't work for you, why this can't do what you need it to do. Think about your conditional beliefs. Please honestly know, I don't talk about every area of my life. I don't talk about times where I've struggled so bad. I will, but I have experienced things too. And when you do the judgment, you compare your life to someone else's. Oh, well, they have it easier because they have more money, or they have it easier because they have more time. They have it easier because XYZ. That's still a conditional belief. Because I have met people who literally worked 72-hour weeks and still came home and got a decent amount of sleep, chose to eat healthy, chose to work on themselves or their business or other things, and they are flourishing. I have had people in my energy that said, you know what, I was a stay-at-home mom, and as soon as my kids went to school, I had 8 hours a day where I could just blow my business up and work on me and do this. And I've been there where I'm like, well, if I had freedom, if I had this, if I had that, of course I could do what you do. That's a conditional belief. When I started changing these conditional beliefs one by one, I saw how much more time I had. I saw how much more work I was willing to do to undo this conditioning that I've been living in. And every time, one by one, things started changing and my ladder of belief started growing. And I thought, okay, maybe manifestation does work. Okay, maybe focusing your mind does work. Okay, maybe this. And now, this is my truth. When I focus on the things that I want, when I choose to understand where I hold limiting or conditional beliefs, my world changes. Because I have the ability to change everything and anything that I want. And so do you. So do you. Please, please, please get curious. Seek answers. Don't sit here and feel like this is not for you, or it's easier for me because. Please get curious with your conditional beliefs. Ask yourself questions. If things are not the way you want them to be in your life, ask why. Ask what you could do differently. Ask different questions. Get curious and seek answers. Because I really believe that we are meant to be living an extraordinary life. I truly believe that so many things are about to unfold for me, for everyone. I believe that we're about to be in a grand awakening. I believe a lot of things. Maybe people think I'm too woo-woo. That's okay. My beliefs work for me. My beliefs don't have to work for you, but I'm asking you to get curious about your conditional beliefs. I'm asking you to start thinking about every area of your life. Work on one at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself saying, okay, I'm going to change my belief about money. I'm going to change my belief about my fertility. I'm going to change my belief about love. I'm going to change my belief around my work, my job, everything. No. Start small. Build your ladder of belief, but start seeing your world change. Start seeing how much power you hold within you. Just start, but really get curious about the conditional beliefs that you are holding. Is it a conditional belief about religion? Is it a conditional belief about God? Is it a conditional belief about the universe? Any area, please, 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 I urge you, get curious. Get curious. I never, ever think that I know everything. I don't ever want to know everything. But the more I get curious, the more I do things, the more I start to say, okay, yep, this is cool. This resonates with me. And I ask more questions and I seek more answers and I start to get more answers. And things like Happier Than God or Conversations with God, books that I've had in my awareness, simply come back into my awareness. I start to read them and mind blown, and I've got more questions and more things to seek. But it made me reevaluate things that I thought that I knew, or thought things that I was really comfortable with. And the more I feel like I'm comfortable with something, I remind myself, get uncomfortable, because there's still so much more to experience. I want you to experience your best life. I want you to experience love and joy and all of the above, abundance. I want you to experience these things because you can know something, but not experience it full out. I thought this book got me thinking about my gratitude practice. And I uncovered some conditional beliefs that I was thinking. And I got excited because I get to change this. I get to evolve. I get to grow. So I'm sending you off with so much love. And please get curious and understand or learn or question your beliefs. And are they conditional? Sending you love. If you found this helpful or know anyone that needs to hear this, please share. And don't forget to leave a review and subscribe. In love and gratitude, Jessica.